Hello and welcome to everybody on Cloud Fitness. So in today's video, we are going to see how we can configure Spark Pool and environment in Microsoft Fabric. So till now we had been, learning Microsoft Fabric step by step. And now in today's video, we are going to see how we can configure the environment as well as the Spark Pool in Microsoft Fabric. So let's move ahead. But again, before moving ahead, I do recommend all of you guys to connect with me on LinkedIn as well as on Instagram. And do remember to subscribe to my channel for the latest updates and the latest videos. So let's move ahead and I will go back to the Microsoft Fabric workspace that we have been working on. So this was the Fabric workspace 01, right, that we have. Now this was one of the notebooks. So let me open it in the new tab. So we had created a notebook where we were working, and if you look at the top, right, we had a default workspace setting over here. So in this workspace, we already had, the configuration Spark 3.4, Delta 2.4. So where is this coming from? Can we change it? So that is what we are going to see today. So this is at the notebook level, and similarly, if we go at the workspace level, so here also, if you click on these three dots, you can see something called as workspace settings. Now in this workspace setting, you can configure a lot of things over here, right? You can even configure your Power BI settings as well. And at the same time, you can also see you have something called as data engineering and data science. Data science, because even in the data science, they will be using notebooks, right? So even there, the configurations will matter. Now, if you click on Spark settings, you will see that you have 4 items over here: pool, environment, high concurrency, and automatic log. So we'll start with the pool. So if you see, there's a default pool for the workspace. So whenever you create a workspace, you have a default pool, right? It is automatically created, right? But can you create your own pool? Yes, you can. Now look at the starter pool over here, which is the default pool. So whenever you are doing anything, right, whenever you are running anything, by default your starter pool is active and it is running. Now if you look at the pool details, node family, what kind of machines they are memory optimized machine. What kind of node size? It's medium. So here it is X, XL, like that. Now if you look at the number of nodes, 1 to 10. Now if you click on this edit button, you can see that this is the configuration of your pool. This is the configuration of the machines on which your code is running. So node family, memory optimized, node size medium, auto scaling is enabled by default 1 to 10, and dynamically allocate executor 1 to 9. So by default you have this setting. Now if I go back and let's check the environment part now. Now if you click on the environment part, now this is again the default environment that will come up with your pool, right? So if you look at the runtime, so even if you go to your notebook and you check this, right? So your runtime is 1.2, Spark 3.4, Delta 2.4, right? So same thing over here. This is the runtime version which is already chosen by default. You can change it, but right now we'll leave it to 1.2, Spark 3.4, Delta 2.4. Now if you look at the high concurrency part, right? So your notebook, are by default high concurrency for the notebook is on. Multiple notebooks can use the same Spark application to reduce the start time for each session. So I hope you understand that. So the multiple notebooks can actually use the same Spark. Because of that, the default start time will be reduced for each of your machines, because machines needs to start. Now then automatically log. Now this automatically log is to track your machine learning experiments and model. Now when we go to the data science part, in that case this will make sense and I will show you that over there as well. So this is nothing but these are your Spark settings, right? And if you want to create a new pool, you can simply click over here and you can click on new pool over here as well. Now if you go to the notebooks, there also what you can do is you can choose a new environment, right? First one is by default, but if you want to create a new environment, you can do that. You can simply click on the workspace default. You can click on the new environment. You can call your new environment as anything. Let me call it as new environment, okay? And let's click on create. Now, when you create this new environment, you will see that there are a lot of configurations that will come up. So if you want to install any libraries, right? If you want to add anything, so if you want to install any library, let's say Great Expectations, right? Add from py. Now here, if you can see, you can also select the versions, right? Whichever version that you want to install. And similarly, if it has any dependencies, then also it will show up over here. If you want to delete it, you can delete it as well. If you have any custom libraries that you want to upload in form of a wheel file or a jar file, then you can go here and upload as well, right? From this upload option. Then comes your compute. Compute is nothing but the pool, right? So right now it's a default pool, right, that you saw. But right now, if you want to create a new pool and use it, that also we can do. So right now you can see it is using the default pool, and whatever work you are doing, that is all running on this default pool, and this is the configuration of each of your default pool. If you want to change it from here, you can change it as well. Now, similarly, you look at the Spark properties over here. If you want to define any properties, you can define it over here. If you want to add any Spark property, you can define it here. Now, if I go back over here, now if you go to the starter pool, if you want to create a new pool, you can simply click on new pool and you can say new underscore, let's say pool, right? And then memory optimized and node size, right? Small, medium, large, extra large. On the Microsoft website, you can see the configurations which are corresponding to this one. I do not remember it as such right now. So let's say we select a medium one, or let's check the small one. Now, auto scale. I hope you guys already understand what an auto scale is. So if the workload is higher, then automatically you will get up machines between the minimum and the maximum value that you set up over here. Similarly, dynamically allocate executors. Now all this you can mention it over here. So let's say let me keep it as 2, and let me keep 2 over here, and let me click on create. Let me go back and we will check again our pool details. Okay, let me make it as 4 over here and 3 is fine here, and let me click on save. So basically this is how you can actually create a new pool, and once you do that, you can actually click on save as well, and you can see your Spark setting is updated. So like this, you can have n number of pools that you want. Now if I go to the starter pool, can I change it? Yes, you can change the starter pool as well. So let me just change my starter pool as well, because I don't want to consume resources, and let's click on save. Now again, I'll click on save over here. So like this, and when you go to the new environment, I'll just simply refresh it. So these are the two places where you can work both on the compute and as well as on the pool, on the environment as well as on the pool. Now if you see this environment pool, now since we have created a new pool over there, you have an option to choose from the pool over here. So this creates, now what we were doing over here, we were actually creating an environment. In that environment, we can add our public libraries, we can add our custom libraries, we can add a compute. So now based on the selection that we have done, right, we can just select the executor nodes, the driver memory, the executor memory, based on whatever we have given the configuration on the new pool, right? Whatever pool we have created, based on that we can actually give the configuration. Let me change this to over here. So like this, you can actually go ahead and save this as well. You have a save button at the top. So now what you have actually done, you have created a new environment. In this environment, you have libraries as well. You have the pool of your choice. Now using this, what you can do is, even you can change the runtime if you want to over here. And then if you go to your notebook back, right, now you have created a new environment. You have a pool as well. Over here, you can see that there is a new environment over here. If you don't want to use this particular environment, you can go ahead and use this environment. So this is how it actually works in your Fabric. Let me, in fact, from my previous video, let me go back over here and let's check the Spark job definition. In fact, let me go to the Fabric workspace, and inside this Fabric workspace, you have already seen that we have something called as new Spark job definition that we did as part of our previous video. Now here also you can see that you can check your workspace, like which environment, which workspace settings you want to use. So now workspace setting and environment both are same thing. Okay. Okay, environment is nothing but what kind of Spark configuration you are using, what kind of runtime you are using, and what kind of nodes you are using. That is what your workspace settings is, or what that is what your environment is. In that environment you can add your own custom libraries as well, and this environment comes by default when you create a Fabric workspace as well. You can change the configuration of that default workspace as well at the workspace level over here. This is what it exactly means. So I hope you understood this, and you really got to learn from the videos that I'm creating. And if you really got to learn from my Fabric playlist, my Databricks works playlist, even my data science related videos, there are a lot of playlists that I have been creating. So I hope you guys got to learn a lot from here, and do remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for being till here.